Pete, overall, do you feel like your team played a better game than the score reflected tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty clear. I think, it's probably the best game we played in 3 or 4 weeks. I thought we were pretty solid. It was one of those nights where, I felt like we got a really good look. They either got a save or we missed. And then, there was a couple, it would go right back down. There was an opportunistic. 2 of them were basically, one was off a foot and one was off us. So, but you know what, you got to make your bounces, excuse me, in the playoffs. And they worked for their bounces tonight. We've got to work for some bounces around the net.
What did you think of the group of defensemen? Obviously, you did a little bit of shuffling, but it seems like that was a lot different than what we've seen recently.
Yeah, I thought we were fine defensively. I thought we were pretty solid. I didn't think we gave up a lot. I thought they got some momentum on the power plays. The 5-on-3 right off the bat's a tough thing to deal with. But and then the double minors. That's just something that. Against that team, we can't take 8 penalty minutes against that team. I think we talked right from day one that staying out of the box was going to be critical.
Called a timeout during that power play, then got a result. Like what was the thinking there, and what happened?
Well, we have with Miro out of the lineup, we have one power play defenseman really in the lineup, and that's Harley. So just to give him a breather. To give him a breather so that we could take advantage of the second half of that power play without having him either out there tired or someone who's not a power play guy out there in that spot.
Pete, on the video review of the puck that was kicked in, did you have a different view of that, or did you guys get an explanation on the bench?
No, you know what? I didn't know what they were reviewing, to be honest with you. And then when I watched it in slow motion, it actually did look a little bit like he kicked it. I'm not, it obviously wasn't intentional. There was contact, and his foot kind of, hit it. If he did kick it intentionally, he's a hell of a soccer player. That's a hell of a play. But I think the right call was made.
There will be a time where you won't have to answer this question, but losing game one is just an oddity, or what do you put in?
Yeah, I don't know. Different teams. Even if you're going to count the whole streak, different coaches. I guess the good news is we've come back and won more than our share of those series where we have. So I think we got to concentrate on that.
You talked this morning about the differences in the Avs team you saw last year and this year in execution. What stood out to you as the biggest differences tonight?
Well, they're just a deeper team than they were a year ago. They're a deeper team, and they didn't have Mackenzie Blackwood last year, and he obviously was a key guy for them tonight.
Coach, do you feel like you guys are a confident team right now? Even though the record hasn't been great the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I thought we were a confident team through that whole game. It's 2-1, middle of the third period, and we've got a chance to. I think Blackwood made the save or Marchment missed. I haven't looked at it closely yet, but that game's a quarter of an inch from being tied 2-2 in the third period. There's no confidence issues.
What's the message now moving forward? You said you liked the way you played, but how do you move forward now to Monday?
Yeah, we got to build on that. We got to work for some more bounces around the net. We got to stay out of the penalty box, and we got to build on a lot of the good things that we did tonight. Okay, thanks.